Welcome everyone back to another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son, George. I was my mother's caregiver after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Sadly, she passed on 1/1/2020, so we started Together for Sharon.com in her memory and to advocate today for a cure for all those still battling PD and their families, because no one is ever alone in this fight for a cure. Today's guest is someone who means a lot to me and so many others. If you didn't know that yet, he'll be sure before today, he'll be leaving with that sentiment. But we are big promoters of this gentleman and the incredible organization they're involved with. And we have another show, as everyone knows, out there on sports. And I think it's so important that obviously we are all advocating for a cure. It's the individuals like many of you listening in between who have to battle the disease today that really need to have that support. And I just honor to have you, Mr. Khan. I think I call you doctor. Is that okay?
Ryan's great.
All right. Well, Ryan, doctor, and my friend, I hope after the show, still strong. I wanted to welcome you to the show. It's really such an exciting topic today, and to have you and really representing what you do is just an honor.
Well, thanks for having me, George. It's a blessing to do what I do every day, and you're exactly right. My long-term goal is to be an unemployed nonprofit leader because there's a cure for Parkinson's disease, and we don't need Rocksteady anymore. But until then, me and my organization frankly, across the world is going to continue to exercise for Parkinson's disease and help improve the lives of people with Parkinson's disease every day. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited because, again, this is the official CEO, which is pretty impressive, of Rock City Boxing, organization I know locally here in Florida, who they participate in a lot of the walks and also nationally. And the nice thing is we all are a family, I hope, in this fight. There's not anything we all want except a cure. And that's why I really also admire what you do, because you work with so many beautiful organizations throughout the world. I do have a little quote I try to start the show out now. This is actually JFK, ironically, in our time today. But every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. I thought that was a powerful because, if you're not aware, everyone listening, the Rock City Boxing, and Ryan will tell us a lot more in depth, is incredible. It's about moving, it's about exercise, it's about never stopping to fight this disease. But I think if you don't try, then, that's the problem. And we want everyone out there to really be aware of Rocksteady. Maybe we can start the show off by telling us a little bit about not just yourself, but what got you into the world of Parkinson's awareness. And after a moment, you'll see the screen share. But I'm going to share Rocksteady, and hopefully everyone listening will also join, like, and follow Ryan and the entire organization on their social media.
Yeah, that's a great JFK quote, the willingness to try. Rock City Boxing in 2006 was founded by Scott Newman, who was Marion County, which is Indianapolis, prosecutor. He had young onset Parkinson's disease, and his symptoms were progressing and affecting his ability to do his job. And in 2006, there was no science about exercise for Parkinson's disease. The recommendations at that point were take your medicine, be careful, conserve your energy, don't overdo it, don't fall down, don't put yourself at risk. But Scott and his buddy Vince were willing to try something. They had to try something. And what they did was started exercising. Vince, Scott's buddy, was a cop and a former Golden Gloves boxer. So he knew how to box and he knew how to exercise like a boxer. And so he invited Scott to say, hey, we got to do something. Let's start exercising. And so they did. And his symptoms got better. And in 2006, there was no science supporting this, but there was improvement in his symptoms. So that willingness to try in 2006 led us to where we are today with over 800 Rocksteady affiliates around the world. How I became involved, I'm a physical therapist by training. I was invited to be on the board of directors when the organization started. So that story when Scott started exercising was 2006. About 2008, 2009, we're developing our first board of directors. And I was a young therapist who had just finished his doctorate degree and was invited to be on the board to look at the literature that was out there. to help kind of define what that curriculum would really look like. At that point, I didn't have any relationship to Parkinson's disease. I was invited by another local professional who was on the board. Um, and I was on the board about 2 or 3 years before my dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Um, when I started on the board, we were just the one location here in Indianapolis. And in about 2013, 2014, we started training other people in how to deliver the Rocksteady curriculum, and that's grown to the locations now that are around the world. I was a practicing physical therapist all that time. In 2018, I sold my shares in my physical therapy practice, and in 2020, I came on as the chief scientific officer for Rocksteady Boxing, and moved into the role of chief executive officer in October of 22. So, what went from an initial invitation to be on a board for a disease that I didn't have a personal connection to became a passion because of the people we served, and then my family became part of the people we served. So today, as the president and CEO, our mission is to equip the coaches and affiliate owners around the world to serve their communities with Parkinson's disease. And whenever I'm doing that, I think very personally of my father could be a boxer in this affiliate location, whether it's in Indianapolis or whether it's in Florida. And so I want those coaches and the affiliate owners to be fully equipped to best serve those people with Parkinson's disease, because if it's not my dad, it's someone's mom, it's someone's cousin, that there's the personal connection with Parkinson's disease and me to the organization, which really fuels my work on a daily basis.
Thank you. And it's amazing the growth and so quickly. And also, I feel that we're kind of part of it and watching it. Unfortunately, my mother didn't have that opportunity. We weren't aware of it. I could picture her now, boxing right along your side. And even if the smiling would be a beautiful thing, because during the tougher times battling Parkinson, just that moment of smile changes the world for so many. Then you add the exercise and all that is even more important. I myself also correlate a lot with what you were saying. I'm a lawyer, worked in the prosecutor's office, and I'm a police officer. But a lot of the people founded Rock City now that I'm aware probably are family in many ways. So thanks for sharing all that. And more importantly, we send our love to your father and the whole family during this battle. And make sure you let him know that he's never alone in this fight. Everyone here watching and advocating along all of our side are right here with you. And I just thinking about him right now. Some of it's not always easy. So I'm again grateful. I wanted to take a moment now to share and thank you again. Thanks for coming today, and thanks for the beautiful interview a while back. If everyone goes to togetherforsharon.com, completely, as I always say, which I shouldn't, but free, just click on interviews and you can see a lot more in depth with Ryan about his background, a little bit about the organization, also how they're making a huge difference throughout the world, not just in the United States. And the most important thing is this gentleman you might recognize. And this is a little bit more on Ryan. And then the most important, if we had the drum roll, I say every show, tried it, it didn't work out, but this is where it would be. And please, everyone, go to rockcityboxing.org. That's the most important mission today. Please support them too. The only way a lot of these beautiful organizations and people, in my opinion, can keep operating and expand is through your support. So that's very important. And today, no offense to all those out there, but today I guess I didn't know it's Giving Tuesday, and I've had about, I mean, if I want, I would love to give to everyone, but I've had about 3,000 emails today. So why not flood everyone with one more? The most important today for me is again, Rock Steady Boxing. Also, I love that click on Rock City Boxing and you can literally, and I already follow everyone, but you can just continue to click a little, and within a matter of moments, you can be subscribing and following all the amazing things they do. And I think Ryan might agree, this is probably the best way to keep in touch and know about all the important programs and things maybe you can touch on that are not just going on today, but also weekly and yearly.
Yeah, thanks for all the support that you give us, George, and all the recognition. Yeah, through our website, you can get all the information you need. You can click and subscribe to our regular information feed. We have a twice a year a digital magazine and a quarterly newsletter, just giving you updates. To me, the most important thing on our website is the find a class function. So anyone listening can go on our website, click on find a class, and that will link you to a searchable database for locations all around the world. You can search by country for international locations, and you can search by zip code for locations around the US. And you can type in your zip code, put a search radius, and it'll tell you the locations in that general area. The flip side is if there's not a location in your area, we'd be glad to have established new locations. So you can get a hold of our affiliate office. They can walk someone through the process of how to establish a location in their area if there isn't one. To develop a new location, you need an exercise professional or rehab professional. We train them in the Rocksteady curriculum, which is really specific for people with Parkinson's disease. It's not just going to a boxing gym and doing a boxing workout that George or I might do. The curriculum is adapted from a boxer's workout, but very specific to address the symptoms of Parkinson's disease. So the Rocksteady certified trainers around the world have high level of expertise in exercise and specifically exercise for Parkinson's disease.
I also love that you can have individuals diagnosed, to have the programs, but also on the alternative, can have caregivers, family members, and just the general population also become certified coaches. Again, a lot of our shows have had individuals involved with Rocksteady and our certified coaches. Won't name names, but some of them are pretty impressive and showed us some of the different techniques. We zoomed in live with one gentleman, and it was really amazing to see his gym. I turned it out. I think it's garage, and now he's growing and growing, and the people that he's affecting, helping and changing their life for the better is just incredible. And I don't think any of that would have been possible if it wasn't for the international or the main headquarters guiding them. It's almost like that show that I used to like to watch where you have the business and undercover boss. That's it. I'm hoping I have a feeling if you do that, you'll be really happy with all the results. And nice thing is the main goal isn't just about money and things and business in this field, because really it's a philanthropy and it's helping out so many individuals. But I love how you can also become an affiliate and become involved. Sometimes we see the big organizations or small, and you kind of can be a participant, but you really can't, start your own. And this is something that's unique where you can actually do that. And I think it's beautiful. And everyone can go to, again, rocksteadyboxing.org to join and to also see how to become an affiliate if you have that background. And back to the social media, just again, it's not just social media to me because it's very inspiring. I mean, you can see just here, Sue Burden or any of your posts, it's life changing. And we're not going to get into a sad moment because it's touching. It's real life. It's people who are being affected by this disease and likely other diseases that want to try to combat it. And you've kind of handed them a literal, microphone to be able to do that, except it's boxing, boxing gloves instead. Maybe you could touch on a few things. One of them was, how do you think it caught on so quickly? That's a short time to become so large. And is it hard at times to make sure everyone's maintaining the standards, the mission, and the goals because it's so large now?
Yeah, those are two good questions. As I mentioned in 2006, when Scott first started boxing for Parkinson's disease, there was no guidance. So doing any exercise for Parkinson's disease other than therapy was pretty novel at that point. And then for an exercise program to look like ours looks like, right? It's loud, it's rowdy, it's based in boxing. We're not hitting one another. We're training like boxers, but having that basis in boxing has a little swagger, has a little fun to it. You talk about your mom wishing she could have gone to a Rocksteady, and you see you see the people with Parkinson's that when you get that diagnosis, it's a bad day. It's a progressive degenerative neurologic disease. And with that diagnosis, hope can leave the room. And a lot of times hope stays out of the room for a long time. When someone wanders into a rock steady gym, you see hope return because there's a gym full of people being loud and rowdy and having fun. But most importantly, they're fighting back and doing something for their progressive degenerative disease. And they go from hopeless to having a glimmer of hope to then becoming part of a community with a lot of hope. So to me, I think the boxing in the swagger that comes with it is part of what caused the growth, but really the community is really responsible for that growth. So what started here in Indianapolis, once people started seeing that, they wanted to develop that community back in their hometown. So to me, that was the community so responsible for the big fiery growth of Rocksteady. And then you're exactly right. In science, we call it the fidelity. How do you maintain the fidelity of Rocksteady program from location A to location B to location 800 plus at this point? The reality is we have a great group of researchers currently doing a fidelity study out of Northwestern and Indiana University here in Indianapolis. And they're in step 2 or 3 of a fidelity study. And what that fidelity study is going to do is give us the list of key ingredients that make Rocksteady Rocksteady. So once we have that list of key ingredients, we can give that recipe to all of the locations, to all the boxers, to all the coaches, and say, look, your recipe needs to include these key ingredients. So there's significant progress in maintaining and ensuring that fidelity from location to location. Right now, it's hard to do, but with this study in place, as the results come from that study, we'll have a lot better template to measure and guide the affiliates going forward to make sure everyone's delivering that special sauce that is Rocksteady Boxing.
Thank you. And one other area that I think is incredible is how you are open to work with so many, even us. I'm only one person, but lost my mother, who's my best friend and changed my life. And that's why we do this today. We don't want anyone to ever feel alone like I did as a caregiver or my mother as someone with Parkinson's. And I don't want anyone to have to battle this anymore. But to be able to, work together side to side, I think is the key to awareness. What are, you can't name names because I don't want to leave someone out, but what's it like being able to work with so many various organizations, people, individuals, and groups around the world for this cause?
Yeah. In 2006, when we started, we were doing something really new. And one thing that we did in the early days is we kind of circled the wagon. We kept to ourselves. We wanted to kind of protect what we did. But that day's long gone, right? Like a rising tide raises all ships. And so now we recognize that partnering with other great exercise organizations, partnering with other great foundations, doing research and advocacy and everything else that serves the PD community. We serve the PD community with the development of exercise, the delivery of that exercise, and the development of a supportive community. But we recognize we are part of the bigger Parkinson's community that involves the researchers and the funders and the scientists. And so we just redid a new strategic plan for 25 to 27. And part of that strategic plan is being very purposeful in collaborating with other like-minded organizations, whether that's exercise or whether that's in the Parkinson's community. How can we collaborate to benefit us, but how can we offer benefit to those other organizations too, maybe filling a gap in what they have as well? So over the 20 years of this organization, that position has changed 180 degrees. And to me, that's one of the fun parts of my job, is meeting these other passionate people like you, like other leaders of great nonprofit organizations and foundations that are doing great work, and we're all serving the same community. That's really enjoyable when you make those connections and say, "Oh, I've heard about you for a long time, and thanks for inviting me. And how can we work together to serve people with Parkinson's disease?"
I agree. And I think, again, to go back to how we started to get today, so important to help those battling today. Because I know my brain, I still keep hoping for the cure now, even though unfortunately it's too late for our family, but it's not too late for so many others in my mother's memory and all those we've lost due to Parkinson. But it's so important, again, to help those individuals still each day until we find that cure. So thank you for, again, your help, service, and all you do. Wanted to now move a little bit as we wrap up, unfortunately, but even after the lights and cameras go out, we know this can't end. This conversation has to continue. We need to know, and I need to be confident that everyone in the world, not just in the US, knows about Rocksteady. And again, it's, Ryan will tell you I don't benefit at all from it, except I do think you will benefit greatly. So please check them out again. I'll share it in the show notes and you'll be able to click so you don't have to search, but Rocksteady Boxing, it's international, it's incredible. Maybe we can talk a little bit now about you. So if we have the hot seat right now, just kidding. So it's usually fun. So we'll see after this if Ryan still wants to be my friend. So can you list 3 words that describe who you are?
I am empathetic. I am patient. Um, and I think I'm pretty funny.
I agree. You made me laugh. What is one moment, which might be tough because I'm sure there's more than one, but one moment or most memorable moment so far that stands out through most of your work with Rocksteady and awareness that you could share?
I'll tell you what, my day to day, I'm in front of a computer doing spreadsheets and running a nonprofit organization. And when those days get tiresome or challenging, our headquarters office is attached to the first ever Rocksteady Boxing Gym. So I'm blessed with, on any day when I need a little inspiration, I can wander into our gym and see Rocksteady in action. And uh, just within the last hour, a caregiver of a longtime boxer who had passed, he passed a year ago, wandered into the HQ office just to say hello to everybody and say she missed seeing everybody because she didn't need to come anymore because her husband was no longer boxing. So the moments I live for and I see what our work is leading to are right outside my door in the gym and up and down the hall of what goes on here every day.
That's beautiful. Someday we just started a different show too, where we virtually, I call it on the road again. It's and I go virtually around the country since it's very difficult live, but I show the inside and these shows are amazing for information and resources, but showing live is just something incredible. It's only a 5-10 minute show, but it is got a lot of great comments on that. I've been to baseball stadiums, I've been to different little gyms, everything, but that will be maybe something in the future 25 we can talk about, but
Nice.
show everyone inside the gym. But this is another area which is kind of sometimes a tougher question, but the things you do are inspiring, incredible, but at times we're all human, they could be tough. So I was wondering who helped you during times of struggle, and again, your dad is fighting the battle. And also on the second question or follow-up is I was a caregiver like you are. What tips could you give those listening who might be caregivers?
Oh, the tips I would say are be patient and grasp the moments like you mentioned the flat affect that comes with Parkinson's and the glimmers you got when your mom would smile. To me, those are the moments, right? Those are the things you can grasp onto when my dad was a funny guy as well, and his sense of humor was tucked away behind his Parkinson's, but when it showed up, those were when it showed up kind of behind the mask face, those were always fun moments to grab onto. And yeah, being a caregiver is a huge challenge. And blessed are the caregivers around the world that have the patience and compassion to really care for their family member or their loved one, or maybe their neighbor that they're just passionate of caring for.
And the other part was just during tougher times for you, even your own family. I was wondering who by your side. We like to kind of thank those behind the scenes because you're the voice and the face of the organization. But I always love to send love and support to the people behind the scenes also, because without our support, you know, in my case, without my wife and my children, I wouldn't have made it through caregiving or as an advocate. So I'm just curious if we could thank and send love to anyone in your life who's helping you on some of those tougher days and also the good ones, like when you walk in and see what you're doing there live.
Sure, I would leave that in two categories. One being my wife and kids. My they're all similar to me in that they're patient and funny and offer respite and support and humor when I need it. But also the staff here at Rocksteady. So, you know, our organization is more than 800 affiliate locations, but we're a staff of 8 people up and down the hall here. And whether they have a personal connection, which many of them do, to Parkinson's disease or not, this organization from a headquarters staff is very passionate about what we're doing and why we're doing it. So, you know, days when my job is difficult in my office, I can go up and down the hall and get affirmation and support for doing what we're doing because it is so important to everyone on this staff.
Thank you. And yeah, we send our love and support to the family and to the staff around the world for all that you all do. And I'm honored that they support you because it makes you be able to have the ability to keep fighting. So thank you. Just a few more. One is who is your hero and inspiration?
Oh,
Told you that'd be tough.
yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, a simple one in this context is our founder, Scott Newman, which what he did was against all common sense at that point, right? He had physicians who were experts in Parkinson's disease telling them to chill out and take it easy and don't hurt yourself. And he decided to exercise, not only exercise, but box for Parkinson's disease. And because of that decision to say, I've got to do something, in 2006, now we estimate 45 to 60,000 people every week participate in Rocksteady around the world. And that's because in 2006, Scott said, you know what, I got to do something to fight back against this disease. So to me, that's remarkable butterfly effect of one man's actions in 2006 really changes how the world approaches management of Parkinson's disease. When I'm at World Parkinson's Congress last year in Barcelona, people coming up from all over the world saying, oh, we're in Venezuela, we box. We're in, you know, Japan, we box for Parkinson's disease because Scott Newman tried something crazy in 2006 with one of his buddies.
Yeah, it's amazing the reach. I mean, I was shocked after 2 years after my mother passed. I was aware that there were about, and I think more, 1 million people in the U.S. Then I had to also discover World Parkinson Congress 2 years after, and was kind of heartbroken when I learned that there were 10 million people in the world fighting it. And then I realized at that moment, it wasn't just about me and my mother, it's about everyone and how we really have to be a family in this fight. So again, I commend you and thank you for all you do internationally. And note a lot of the Instagram accounts are Rocksteady International, and I love it. So that next one, if you were to ask to write a script to a movie about your life story, what would you call it, and what actor would play your role?
Okay, what actor? I'm not particularly handsome, but I would choose someone handsome to play me. So people who haven't met me think I'm handsome. So I'm also of a certain age, so I would go, um, probably a Clooney. I look nothing like him, but I think he could represent me well. Um,
There's no
that
wrong.
that script would be called maybe maybe after the Beatles. It might just be called Obla D because life comes at you, nothing goes as planned. I'm a physical therapist. I went and did graduate work to teach at a university somewhere. And now, 20 years later, I'm not teaching anywhere. I'm leading a nonprofit organization for people with Parkinson's disease. And obla di, obla da, life goes on. So you can have the best laid plans, and it sometimes doesn't matter. You have to adapt with the flow and take opportunities when they're given. Um, and you can plan for everything, but you can also, part of your plan can be adapt because life goes on, and sometimes that adaptation leads you to great places. So I'm guessing with that name and with Clooney as a headliner, we could sell some movie tickets.
Thank you. And I do think you could add teacher because you taught us so much today and you continue to for the better. Unfortunately, due to time, there's so much other things. I mean, you're really helping not just with exercise, but things like diet, health, and all surrounding social, like the network of the support, just all really encompass in one beautiful thing. And again, everyone, please support Ryan and Rocksteady at rocksteadyboxing.org. The last question today, but only, I shouldn't say last, I said just for today. So we'll continue hopefully for many years or until the cure is at everyone's doorsteps. But if you can leave the Parkinson's community today with some words of encouragement, which you already have, but maybe some final thoughts on encouraging words, what would they be?
Yeah, I think Rock City Boxing is what we do. We know that exercise is essential for Parkinson disease. Boxing is not known to be any better than other types of moderate to high intensity exercise. So, if you have Parkinson's disease, find what exercise works for you and be consistent with it. Just like your medicine, that exercise needs to be a consistent part of your day, a consistent part of your regimen in treating Parkinson's disease. So be consistent with your exercise and find a community of like-minded people that can support you with a arm around the shoulder sometimes when you need it, and sometimes with a foot in the backside when you need that too. But be consistent and get a great community around you.
I appreciate it, and just beautiful words, so inspiring. I mean, if anyone today was having a tough day, now you're hopefully aware of Rock City Boxing. You can go on the website, look up the map. I did it. It took a minute, and get involved, get some support by exercise. I mean, it's incredible. I'm also love that it's not always boxing face head on because I think some of our beautiful viewers want to leave with their beautiful makeup and face still doing all right, and that's actually a deterrent. And we have a show coming, a sports show. Maybe we'll talk about boxing. The whole show will be dedicated to it. But how even boxing, we're wondering, not rock steady, but regular box could cause the disease. So interesting research coming, but I'm really thankful that yours has really blossomed and come so quickly because it's really needed. And I can't imagine before 2020, you said 2006, I believe. I can't imagine before that what individuals did, and now you've changed the world in a positive way for so many. Thank you again today for your time, but also for all that you've done and will continue to do today in the future. I think the future is very bright for all those still battling until the day the cure is at our doorstep. So thank you again, Ryan.
All right. Thanks for having me, George. Thanks for the
We
work
had
you do as well.
I appreciate it. We have one last message for you, Ryan, and everyone listening. We love you. We support you. We care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with Ryan and all the affiliates of Rock Steady Boxing, will advocate for you. And together, I feel our voices are so much stronger. And I always end the show with saying I'm just getting started because there's been tough days for everyone, whether it's life, environment, anything you can dream of. The New Year holidays are tough for me without having my mother. But then I look to you and the social media and all the inspiring things that Rock City does. And it really kind of gets me to keep getting up, put my head up, and keep fighting because of individuals like you. And again, we're so grateful today for your time and your friendship. And I do hope this is to be continued. So thank you, Ryan, and thank you everyone for listening. There's been another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son, but the fight continues. Please again go to your local Rock City Boxing. Please visit the website rockcityboxing.org. And all I want is to make sure that you know you're never alone, and we'll keep fighting right by your side until there's a cure for Parkinson's disease. Thanks everyone, sending our love, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.